Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about the Hasan waiting room, better known as Denims TV. Now, why are we talking about her today? Well, she recently started a $150,000 GoFundMe to sue Ethan Klein for defamation. A masterful gambit, as you will see based on all the context I'll be providing in this video. Now, before we get into the actual GoFundMe here, let's get some context as to who Denims TV is. So my first encounter with Denims TV was about a year ago when I made a bizarre background cameo in this set of controversy where I made a video talking about how over Stellar Blade drama, a Twitter user put a $20,000 bounty on the head of Mark Kern. I said that was insane. Asmongold then reacted to my video and said, true. And then Denims TV reacted to that video and said, I want to up the bounty to $30,000. Which is crazy considering the fact this was all over Stellar Blade related drama. And this got serious enough where the FBI contacted Asmongold where he did not want to pursue any further action, which is also ironic because the threat was directed towards Mark Kern, but that's a whole nother thing. She was also involved in the infamous sponsored Twitch panel where they did a race-based tier list where, of course, Arabs were in the S tier, meaning good, and Jews were in the F tier, meaning bad. And guess where Ethan Klein went? Well, he was the first one into the F tier. She was also someone who reacted to a hit piece on Ethan Klein and his family where the user claims that their house was filled with shits, that his children were rolling around and constantly eating dog shit, and that it was basically a house of horrors, you know, a description of a house this person who made the video had never seen before. And Denims TV would react to this in front of thousands of people, and the chat would be spamming many different messages about calling CPS. As you can see right here, this is an edited list of people saying call CPS within her chat. Now, she pointed this out and said, this is very fraudulent. This is an edited list, which everyone already knew. It was just curating all of the messages saying similar things about calling CPS. This was a part of her smoking gun response to that situation, where she also inadvertently revealed that there was nearly 1,000 messages about CPS in her chat, which is not exactly the own she thought it was, and that was a part of her epic debunking of Ethan's CPS lies, which, as you can see by the like-dislike ratio, went really well. And also in that video, she never explained why she thought it was okay or tried to justify CPS being called on someone, because it doesn't matter. Because Ethan's kids are 3 and 5, they don't have memories yet.
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
She was also a proud member of the gaggle of goofballs who made the content cop on H3 uploaded by iDubbbz recently. You can see her in the background really showing off her empathy and emotional maturity as she does a Fortnite dance in the background of a video that's supposedly supposed to be concerned about the mental health of Ethan Klein. And as you can see, that video has done really, really well. Another gigantic dislike ratio on that video, as we can see here. But now we fast forward to the present, where Denims has publicly announced that she's making this lawsuit. She's trying to get a GoFundMe for it, saying, Ethan Klein, retract, or you may want to replace your lawyer who, quote-unquote, can't do shit. Despite publicly acknowledging that I have never endorsed or even denounced calling CPS on Ethan, he has continued to spread this malicious lie with a link to ethankleinlied.com. We should hold individual creators like this to the same standard we hold anyone else to. I am going to do my part. If Ethan Klein doesn't retract his lies about me, I will look into legal avenues to convince him that he should have, which this is a very dangerous Pandora's box I don't think they want to open, about holding influential content creators like this to the same standard we hold anyone else to. She might want to look to her left and to her right and the people she associates with and the things that they're doing before she starts worrying about what Ethan Klein is doing. Also, this whole thing is predicated on the fact that she thinks that Ethan is implying that she's the result of these CPS calls, which is his inference. But if we're talking about implying things, boy, she really likes to imply things about Ethan's wife, Hila.
Make you an orbiter of destiny?
I don't know him. They're like, oh,
just to like bring her back to reality for a second.
I mean,
If you opened the
Guys, the IDF member is bringing us back to reality. Okay? The IDF member is bravely taking a break from killing unarmed children to bring us back to reality. Sorry. Terror babies. Terror babies. Terror babies. Sorry.
Destiny subreddit, it does not make you an orbiter of destiny.
So here's the actual page of this lawsuit here, titled Suing Ethan Klein for Defamation Legal Fund with a goal of $150,000. That's a lot of clams, and as you can see, she has raised about $31,000 so far in the first 24 hours, which is really hilarious for reasons I will explain in just a second. But kind of off the cuff here, I remember when Alyssa Mercante, the former Kotaku editor, made her lawsuit against Smash JT, and he was able to raise $25,000 in part of his defense, his legal defense, to hire Ron Coleman, his lawyer, and people said that was a ridiculous number. He doesn't need $25,000. How greedy and selfish. Well, here we have $150,000 to go after Ethan for defamation, which is a laughable claim because there's a lot she has to overcome here. She has to prove two things, essentially. This is what it boils down to. Was she defamed by Ethan? And also, very importantly, what damages did she suffer from the words of Ethan Klein? Now, let's get real here. Her reputation, as you already probably know, is in the mud. Okay? I don't think her reputation took any sort of a blow from this situation. But in terms of everything else, her career, for example, what harm did she suffer as a result of Ethan's words? That's what she's going to have to prove with this $150,000 endeavor she's on. And if you look at her channel, right, all you see in the past month is green up arrows. In fact, if you look at her channel performance over time for Twitch, she is at an all-time high in terms of viewership. What harm did she suffer from this situation? That is the crucial aspect of a defamation suit. What harm did Ethan Klein's words about this particular situation do to you? Where is it? I'm not seeing it. If anything, this has actually garnered more attention towards your career and your platform, which is very odd to then respond with a lawsuit. Again, $150,000 to accomplish. And there are times where you can win a defamation suit but not get damages. Basically, it's the court saying, yeah, you won, you proved you were defamed in this situation. Here's a piece of paper saying that person lied about you, but you're not getting damages. So people are going to raise $150,000 to say Ethan lied about this situation. Seems like a bit of a waste of time if you're asking me, because suits like this might last years. Like, I don't know what she's thinking getting into this. On top of that, she's going to open herself up to discovery, which includes things that she has said. I don't really know if she wants the possibility of a countersuit over defamation as well, because she's also said some very out-of-pocket things about Ethan, his wife, and his family. It's just a very odd situation, and you can see her official statement here, which I will say to her, unlike the Alyssa Mercante situation, she actually did censor out the personal information of Ethan Klein, which is more than we can say for that former situation. But she states here these are the reasons why they're pursuing this. On March 7th, Ethan said Denims is participating in the CPS lie. On the 10th, Denims endorses this. Clearly, as you can see, she's not moderating this at all and is pretty much 100% of the comments saying call CPS on them, their kids should be taken away. On the 11th, you repeatedly insinuated that Denims was responsible for the CPS call, labeling her the real villain of the video. You also stated she has been a nasty, pathetic, lying, just like such a horrible, disgusting person because you believed she was behind the CPS call. And then on April 18th, saying, making references to Denims, you said terrorist sympathizers who support CPS coming and taking my children away. She's directly responsible for CPS coming to my house. She is directly linked to the CPS coming to my house, doing what she did, being like, oh, let's call CPS. He's an abuser. He neglects his children. Like, we need to call CPS, etc., etc. Girl who accused me of leaving shit on the floor and that CPS should be called. She did CPS. Remember that? Talking about your friends propagating CPS coming to my house to take my kids away on the 21st. Again, in reference to Denims, Ethan said, you don't lie about people's kids and have CPS go to their house. Those are the defamatory statements they're claiming in this lawsuit, but I don't really have much of a reason to take this person seriously about defamation when the same person said that Ethan should be sued by a Houthi terrorist because Ethan called them a terrorist, that this terrorist should sue Ethan in Yemen. Now, he is factually correct, at least in the United States, because the Houthis are a designated foreign terrorist organization. He is a member of that, aka making him a terrorist. That is not defamation, but the fact that they're trying to stand up for a terrorist over claims of defamation, and then they're trying to do the same and direct a defamation suit at someone else is absolutely wild. But Ethan would provide a response to all this, as we'll see right now.
Don't sue me, Denims. Please. Please don't take the first legal action. What's that have to do with anything?
For clips.
Denims is a giant turd-eating monster who is life, financially speaking, I'm going to probably not ruin, but I do want to put her in some. I do want to. I would like to put her into some financial.
Declaring bankruptcy?
Ethan, why don't you just chill?
No, what's the proper verbiage on this? Difficult day. How about no? See that sounds too bad. I'm gonna put her into a pickle.
It doesn't sound serious enough. Pickle sounds like a funny.
Want to put her into a bit of a bind. We'll work on it. I'm kidding, by the way.
So yeah, that's basically the situation. As you can see, Ethan is shaking in his boots, but this whole thing is just laughable. I don't really know why anyone would want to subject themselves to a long legal process for something that's probably not going to work out in their favor. It just seems like some call to attention here. But anyways, that's the situation. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.